As many of you know, the world has a recycling and a plastic problem, and Hong Kong is no different. In fact, we have one of the lowest recycling rates in the world, especially for a big city. We have an opportunity now to change that, at least for plastic bottles and sealed drink containers, because the government and different groups are proposing a PRS system, a producer responsibility scheme, which in some countries is like an EPR scheme, extended producer responsibility. What has happened in the past is there's no cost to do business for the material that's put into the environment. There's no fee to be paid, and basically there's no money in the system to pay for recycling or the infrastructure needed. Years ago, we used to send all of our recyclable material, we'd bale it, send it across the border to China because they were using it at volume, and that system sort of worked. But Hong Kong has never invested in a MRF, which is a material recovery facility. We have a very antiquated system, which not many people trust at all, to capture the material from our hands at households and offices and get it into a system, get it sorted, and then to an entrepreneur, an innovator, or a machine that can actually make use of it. Luckily now, Hong Kong has a new big factory that will be able to process PET, which is plastic bottles, and HDPE, which is the other rigid type of plastic bottles you get. But the problem is collecting it. Puts a reward on plastic bottles, as well as the drink cartons, the boxes, and the thin film drink packs. Those two can be at a lower price because those can actually be compressed and stored in an easier way to get it to a recycler if you turn it in. When you think of plastic bottles, these things are meant to last. And unfortunately, when they go to the environment, they do last for hundreds of years. And the problem is we're not capturing them. But this can be easily recycled if we get it into the system. So the problem today is that we have a proposal for just 5 cents on a bottle. And we expect the city to change all of its ways and start gathering big volumes of material to go get recycled at just 5 cents a bottle. And we don't believe that that's going to work. The PRS system needs to be similar to that of other industrialized countries. Europe, the US. In the US, only 12 states have bottle reward programs, but every state where they have them, they receive 70 to 95% of the bottles back. And the value per bottle is 40 to 80 cents. It's even more in Europe. So why is in a rich place like Hong Kong think that the general population is going to dance to a new tune and turn in all their bottles and drink material for just 5 cents a bottle? We think that's a waste of time, and it's analogous to what happened many years ago in the taxi industry, which were all diesel taxis at that time. And the government put in these essentially Brillo pads into the exhaust of the diesel to claim that they were going to scrub a lot of the diesel particles. Now they might have done a little bit, but this is not innovation. And what created at that time was complacency. And so we lost 5 to 10 years in trying to change the fuel source or the way that taxis are driven with less pollution, because this got put in the way. And a 5 cent system, we think, is the same kind of problem, because it will appease people, and we will think that the world will change in Hong Kong for recycling, and we will lose 5 to 8 years, maybe more, because we realize it doesn't work, and we lost all that time. The factory is ready to go. It needs at least 3 million bottles a day, and if we can't collect that material, we might have to actually import it just to keep that machine running and have that recycling capacity. That's not too bad, actually, because at least other countries' materials will be able to be recycled. We highly support a PRS system. We highly support waste charging, because today it's free to throw your waste away. And as soon as there's a charge for it, people will do many things to sort their materials to avoid that charge. And that means we will have a plethora of new material for recycling. There isn't really a plan to handle all of that, but at least we could start with the charge and start diverting materials into recycling. But the PRS system targeted directly at the drink industry, our bottles and our drink cartons can be effectively collected at volume, at scale, and uncontaminated. And that's what the recycling industry needs. So let's be thorough, creative, inspiring, and innovative in the way that we try to change society and motivate through a PRS system that's going to knock the socks off and really work. And we believe it has to be at least 20 cents a bottle for that to happen. And we look forward to seeing how this can really change recycling in Hong Kong. I'm Doug Woodring from Ocean Recovery Alliance.